The bar went silent the moment the biker's hand clenched the front of the waitress's shirt, the music dying as if someone had cut the power, glasses freezing halfway to mouths, every breath held in a thick cloud of smoke and tension, because this was the kind of place where shouting and fists were normal but shame was not, and when the fabric tore with a sharp sound that echoed across the wooden walls, it wasn't desire that filled the room but shock, the kind that crawls up your spine and locks your legs in place. And the waitress, her name was Lena, though most people never bothered to ask, didn't scream, didn't beg, didn't even step back, she just stood there with her eyes locked on his, heart pounding like a drum, while the biker froze mid-motion, his face draining of color as if he'd just seen a ghost, because what he saw wasn't skin meant to be exposed or something to laugh about, it was a tattoo burned deep into her chest, dark and unmistakable, a symbol every man in that bar recognized, a mark that didn't belong to a waitress or a nobody, but to a chapter of their past they had all sworn never to speak of again, a chapter written in blood, loyalty, and loss, and the biker's grip loosened instantly as murmurs rippled through the crowd, chairs scraping back as men leaned forward, eyes narrowing, memories waking up like old wounds, because that mark meant survival when no one else had, it meant sacrifice, it meant someone had paid a price none of them were willing to pay any more, and Lena finally spoke, her voice steady despite the storm raging inside her, telling him to look properly, to really see, because she hadn't come here to cause trouble or beg for mercy, she'd come to work, to earn enough to keep her life moving one shift at a time, but fate had dragged her back into a world she escaped years ago, a world where her name was whispered with respect and fear, and the biker staggered back a step. Hands raised now not in threat but in disbelief, as recognition spread like wildfire across the bar, one man after another realizing who she was, or more importantly, who she had been, the girl who had walked through fire to save others, the one who carried a symbol that could never be faked, and suddenly the power dynamic shifted, the room no longer closing in on her but pulling away, giving space, giving silence, giving something dangerously close to reverence, and Lena took a breath she'd been holding for years, straightened her torn shirt without shame, and told them she wasn't that person anymore, that she'd left the past behind on purpose, but respect was not optional, not then, not now, and the biker nodded slowly, swallowing hard, offering an apology that felt too small for the weight of what he'd done, while the bar owner ordered drinks on the house and the men who had watched with cruel curiosity moments ago now stood like students who'd just been reminded how little they really knew, and as the noise slowly returned, softer this time, Lena walked back behind the counter, hands steady, eyes forward, reclaiming her place not as a symbol or a legend but as a woman who had survived and chosen peace, and before the night ended, every single person in that bar understood one thing clearly. Some stories aren't written to entertain, they're written to warn, to remind, to teach respect where arrogance once lived, and if this moment gave you chills, if it made you pause and feel something real, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because stories like this aren't just told to pass time, they're told to stay with you, to remind you that you never truly know who's standing in front of you, and the next story might just change the way you see the world.